Yes. No. Nope. Gotta hold it down, right?
Good evening. I'd like to open up a special Public Safety Committee meeting at 6:01. We have one item and we'll get right to it. Authorizing contract, Greene County Deputies Association.
Handle.
Lanudo, Handle. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? One opposed. That's carried. Anything else to bring before public safety? A motion by Lennon. Second by Chairman. We are closed.
I'd like to call a special committee meeting for county services at 6:03. And tonight we have one proposed action item. Number one, as amended, capital project number 161, Caro Senior Center, awarding bid and authorizing contract with Bellamy Construction Company Inc. for the Caro Senior Center water and sewer utility improvements.
Can
All
I
in
just
favor?
ask one question before we do that?
This, I may classify this as a simple housekeeping, doesn't change any of the math of the formula. It's a CD that representatives from the community block grants got back to us on language that they wanted added to the resolution. I called Greg as the parliamentarian and explained the situation to see whether or not he felt it needed to come back with a special meeting, or would we just, because it already had been through committee once, go through it and make the notation at the next session. And Greg said, to be safe, send it back to the regular committee. So I can have James get more specificity as to the language requirement. If you, unless that, is that?
Mm.
So as you know, we're using CDBG block grant from our federal program income account to help offset some of the costs so that the burden on the levy is lower. So we were able to source about $500,000 in our existing federal program income account to pay primarily for the equipment in the kitchen. But we've also been able to, we're going to apply to also have it go towards some of the renovation on the county side alone. So between the congregate center and the kitchen itself, because it's serving a senior population, the national objective is met, but it needs to go through the federal environmental review process. It's called NEPA. It's just a formality, and HUD representatives just wanted to see that specific language baked into the resolution so that while we are authorizing the award, we're saying that the project won't start until that environmental review is done.
James, what guarantee that we get this money from HUD?
Well, we have the money.
You have the money.
We have the money now. Yes.
So then how are we needing to go through them at all if we already have the funds?
Because those funds were allocated to the county decades ago for the purpose of the quantum loan fund. So in order to reallocate it toward a different purpose, even if it's achieving a national objective and it's an authorized use of the money, we do need a formal authorization from HUD in the form of a release of funds letter.
Bureaucracy at its finest.
That would be it.
500,000.
500,000. Yep.
So once these funds would get used for something like this, a public building, they couldn't be used towards actual true economic development then.
Well, it's only a portion of the total fund that we have, so we're not exhausting the entire allocation that's in the account now. There's more than enough to continue the quantum fund, and even we've talked about another amendment to that fund so that we can build other programs. I think we talked about healthcare as one of those industries we were thinking about gearing that to as well, but this is only a drop in the bucket of that total account.
Okay, thank you.
James, what is how much is in the total account?
Just over 3.2 million. We have about 180,000 in receivables.
3.2 pre-separation of this 5 or?
Yes.
So,
Yep.
so.
So as of today, it's about 3.2 million.
3.7 when you're done.
Just to clarify, this is where the central cooking will be located for the meals program. And we wouldn't be able to use the jail kitchen.
Do you want some help?
There you go.
Okay. Yeah, we've had numerous discussions on using the jail as a joint facility for both inmates and as well as the seniors. Geographically, it's a problem because of the distance in the northern part of the county. The two aspects have totally different menu requirements, totally different caloric requirements. It just, when we evaluated, it just didn't seem like we could do both out of the same facility. So, but we are condensing what is now multiple cooking sites when it will only have one. And which will allow us then to close down those kitchen operations in the other centers, not the centers themselves.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's passed. Can I get a motion to close? Daryl,
Second.
Mr. Chairman? We are closed. Thank you.
Oh, I know. Bring them up with the security guard each night too. That will come in really handy. Yeah, thank you, Mr. Chairman. Martha Robar and Nina Peak from EDR, who are two of the project leads for the cement and redevelopment project, are here tonight just to give an overview of the project, where we stand, the sort of timelines, what's been completed so far, and what's to be expected. It's purely informational. We're going to keep it pretty high level, but encourage you to ask questions and dig into the process. So without further ado.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
My name is Nina Peak. I'm a planning practice lead at EDR, joined here tonight by my colleague Martha. Just have about a 5-minute presentation that gives a general overview of the project, where we are, where we're going. So feel free to ask questions in the middle or wait till the end. Either way. So quick agenda. We're going to talk about the project team, who's working on it, the goals of the project, which I'm sure James has filled you in on in the past, milestones and project status, and the seeker timeline. So again, we're from EDR. We have amassed a consultant team that are helping us with the environmental review for this project. This is just a few of the team members, the key team members on it. Epsilon, MRB are there helping out with some of the socioeconomic and fiscal impact. GPI is helping out with the traffic, air and noise. Obviously Greene County, Capital Energy, and then we have a couple of other partners, legal counsel that are helping us with the seeker review and process, environmental site assessment team that is going to be helping with some of the site work, and probably about an 18-month process, but you'll be seeing some of us pretty frequently and some of us probably not at all. Here's the site location. Everybody knows where it is. It's about 4,400 acres that are amassed in the project area. Different owners. 1,700 is owned by Peckham. There are other with active mining operations, Wholesome, Amrise, Heidelberg, all property owners, another private property owner. Some access has already been secured so that we can go on site and do some actual site work. Other analyses will be done doing desktop analyses because we don't currently have an agreement to go on site. So, but again, 4,400 acres will be included in the concept plan. Some analyses that are presented in SEQR will be at a more significant level of detail, but enough to put together a concept plan that will be the subject of the environmental impact statement. So like I said, 4,400 acres, some of the real, the key points, the key features, the key assets of the project site are the location of the deep water port, access to the CSX rail line, which, one would expect to be activated a bit more with the development of this site. And then, of course, the proximity to a potential exit on and off from the thruway. Site redevelopment considerations, right? There's some constraints. There's narrow tunnels, there are active industrial operations, life of mine permitting, but there's also brownfield tax credits and opportunities to secure additional funding once the environmental review is complete. Funding is through the Fast New York Track B, which is for planning. Once that is secured, once we go through this process and develop a concept plan, the site will be positioned to get additional funding, potentially to actually do the work and develop the site and generate jobs and all the things that we're really trying to do. So why we're here is to conduct the State Environmental Quality Review Act required environmental review. We are tasked with doing some due diligence on the site and putting together a concept plan. And the concept plan, the goals are drive new private investment, get this site in a position where a developer could conceivably come in. A lot of the environmental review work is already completed, so saving time and money for potential developers. Create good jobs. That's the reason why this project is being forwarded. To get new business, new industrial development on the site, new commercial development, create new jobs for the community. Leveraging key assets of the site, right? The deep water port, like I mentioned, the CSX rail line and the thruway makes this attractive in a number of different ways. Key access points brings people, makes it easy to get there and leave. Enhance and support the growth of the existing companies. There are people, as you well know, right? There's active operations on the site. It's to their advantage to see this project move forward and help them look down the road and see what they may be able to do at the site and develop it in more meaningful revenue generating, job generating. Primary growth industries that we're looking at potentially in the concept plan: light industrial, advanced manufacturing, and related industries. I've heard from other groups that they may be interested in other things, but right now that's what we're thinking about. That's the most likely development scenario for the site. Project status. The Greene County Legislature declared SEQR lead agency back in January. February 20, and end of February, we met with, in 2 days, 25 stakeholder groups. This is the list, or a part of the list. We talked to a lot of people about the project, what they might want to see on the site. We heard them, we incorporated their feedback into the scoping document. And we will continue to coordinate with these groups throughout the entire seeker process. Some of the things that we heard, site is underutilized and degraded, not a surprise. The general consensus was support for redevelopment of the site in ways that generate jobs within these specific industries. Common concerns, any kind of development, is going to create a lot of traffic. There's a lot of environmentally sensitive lands on this property. There's wetlands, there's the Great Blythe, there's proximity to the Hudson River, there's undisturbed forest. All of those things are considerations that will be analyzed and studied and evaluated in the environmental review process. Everybody was really enthusiastic about the project, but also was mindful that there's a process. We're very careful. We're very mindful of the assets that are already there and the residential neighborhoods around it, and being transparent, right? Coming to meet with groups that those stakeholders, this group, often and a lot, and making sure that the information that we're collecting is available to the public for their review, doing everything out in the open. Everybody was, interested in seeing this phased over time. It's obviously an enormous site, unlikely that it's going to get developed all at once. So making sure that we have a plan in place to logically develop the site over the course of, it could be 5 years, it could be 10 years, it could be 20 years, but making sure that there's a plan in place to make sure that that happens very carefully and intentionally. And then, constraints and major opportunities offered by the different access points, developing workforces, making sure that if we're going to be generating jobs, being mindful of where people are going to live, how they're going to commute, how they're going to get there, and the impact that has on the neighborhood. So, April 15th, we released the scoping document. The Greene County legislature accepted it for consideration and circulated it to interested and involved agencies. We had a scoping open house here in the county in Catskill, just around the corner, where we presented the project and asked for people to come and make comments. We had lots of maps and interactive exercises, and we got a very nice turnout and lots of good feedback from all sorts of stakeholders. So now we just finished at the end of May, the scoping document comment period. We've gotten about 150 comments. We're sorting through them and figuring out, which ones need to be incorporated into the document and which ones were just sort of statements of purpose or fact. We started the wetland delineation work back in May. That's a lot of land to cover, so that's going to take a while, but probably through the end of the summer. We're here tonight presenting to you. In this month, we're revising the scoping document, and we'll be back to the legislature mid-July for formal adoption, and then we really kick off the environmental review process. So I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Martha to take you through that.
Thank you. Thank you for having us. So the seeker requirements, it is the state process for environmental review. It integrates everything into the conceptual plan. It requires that we do a hard look at all of the environmental factors associated with redevelopment of these lands. And the seeker process balances the economic development with the environmental, potential environmental impacts, and also considers mitigation for those environmental impacts. So the generic environmental impact statement, that's what we're going to be writing after we get through the scoping process. We're right now in the scoping portion of the environmental impact statement process. And that's where we're gathering information from stakeholders to decide what goes into the GEIS. Once we get out of scoping, we'll be drafting the GEIS. All the field work will be done, and it will inform the writing of the GEIS. Then the document goes back out for public comment. We'll get feedback on that draft GEIS and use that information to create a final GEIS document, which is a comment response document typically. And then the statement of findings is the final step in the GEIS process. And that is the document, final document that tells sort of the parameters of what can be, what's acceptable in the conceptual development plan. These are the topics that we are covering in the scoping document, but also in the GEIS, everything from land use, cultural resources, air quality, water quality, traffic and transportation, of course. And here we are with the schedule. So the seekers process started in January with the determination of lead agency. And we're going through mid-July. That's when we'll be done with scoping. And then we'll be writing the GEIS and as well as wrapping up field work in the summertime. And then in February of 2027, we expect to have the DGEIS already reviewed then by the public. There will be the final GEIS will happen in the spring, and then the statement of findings should be in the summer of 2027. So with that, I will be happy to answer any questions.
So do we have anybody interested right now when you have companies that might be looking to set up shop there?
So not specifically, but we've been very forward about whether you're a business looking or you're a community member, that we don't have a final end use. We don't know where the most buildable site is down there yet. So I think early on when we first started bringing this to the state's attention, we had some general inquiries, but we quickly felt that we weren't ready to properly field them.
Okay. Would you say that the existing landowners, are they looking to expand their operations or to begin a new type of operations on the lands they own?
Expanding their current operations. Both Heidelberg and Peckham have brought that to our attention. Heidelberg especially is looking to reactivate the quarry. So there's
Okay.
So who are we still waiting for permission from to get onto the property to conduct the investigation?
I to go back on record for all of that. So like I said, Heidelberg, we have a verbal commitment from. The last ones we're waiting on. There's a new property owner that has come up in the midst since we started this. So it's that new property owner who we've engaged with that has shown desire to want to be a part of this. And then Amrise, that used to be Wholesome. But we think that once Heidelberg officially signs on, they'll be in tow.
James, one of the companies that's there, Heidelberg, I'm also dealing with on the northern end of the county through the Port of Queens. And one of the things that was missed from the beginning on that project was just transportation in and out of that port. It's brought heavy truck traffic through the village of Ravenna, through the town of Baltimore, through the town of Bethlehem, that has absolutely destroyed roads. So I would be very cautious as to how that gets planned out. That site is just under 300 acres. So we're 10 to 12 times bigger. I would just say, keep that in mind as we're looking to build this out. Let's make sure the infrastructure is in place to get this material in and out of there, whatever it may be.
Agreed. The narrow bridges and the overpasses definitely pose a threat. I don't see an easy way to move forward of recalibrating or replanning those. Early on, we engaged with the Thruway Authority as well. They encouraged us to move forward. They didn't say no, but I don't. I think that there's a mutual desire from the states and federal government's perspective to see the build out of this site, and I don't think that that's possible without the creation of a new major access point. The local road networks wouldn't be able to handle the traffic.
Is any of the new seeker stuff that was put through the state budget this year, and maybe it's premature to figure that out, but is any of that affected by this project at all? Or is it more toward housing?
As you said, right, it's pretty much all, although we got some feedback from some of the stakeholders that they might want us to consider housing on the site.
I almost think you have to consider it if you're gonna bring that many employees in.
Right, and so theoretically, some of the new seeker regulations would occur to would be applicable to this project. However, this is just a concept plan, right? We're just doing an EIS on a conceptual development plan. If at some point in the future, there is housing there, then that would be subject to additional seeker review and, site plan approval, and that would fall under the governor's new, seeker regulations as a previously disturbed site, but it also actually doesn't have infrastructure to support it, so we would have to sort that out at some point.
Okay.
James, I would say many, many years ago, state DOT looked at rerouting 9W around those narrow bridges and overpasses, so there would not be an issue. And I believe at that time they did draw up plans. I don't know if they still exist. Obviously, they got shelved. But might be worth it looking into, seeing what that was all about, that involved.
I agree. There's, if anything, this project gives us a great opportunity to reevaluate and engage with DOT to reevaluate some of that route. I know that we're straddled by two MPOs, one in the capital region, one in Ulster County. And they're very particular, especially Ulster County and the village of Saugerties. They're very particular about development and the resulting truck traffic that would go through their local systems, much like they're seeing in Ravenna. So I would agree with that, and that's something that's part of that traffic study that's within this as well.
And in regards to Pat's concern about road abuse, road wear and tear, I believe Callahan across the river in Hudson put their own road in from the quarry all the way to the river,
Mhm.
to stop the heavy traffic flow on the truck routes, but through the village of, city of Hudson.
It's Calaruso.
It's Colarusso.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think that given the willingness of the site owners and the vastness of the land, that's an opportunity to pursue as well.
Any other questions? I'd say thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Good start.
Looking for a motion to.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Vote.
Good evening. I'd like to open up government operations at 6:29. We have the director and the deputy director of real property tax with us, and Director Ward is going to give us an update. a quick question on that. Do you believe other counties in the area are going to go forward with this? With the surviving spouses for law enforcement?
Okay. No, it says mute. No, it says speaking. Okay.
Speak.
From what I
Okay, thank you.
budget bills. Love them. Love the New York State budget. Hand them down. Along with everything else that got handed down the last couple of weeks. Really no big real property tax things, other than I do want to mention that the state raised the senior and persons with disabilities and limited income exemption limit from 50,000 to 75,000 now. We're at 37,000. I plan to just continue advocating for an SSI COLA increase to that. 75,000. I've spoken to some directors. The impact would be, I mean, if you look at your county workforce alone, there would be hundreds of employees that would be, if they were 65, be eligible for that exemption at that income. Because that's the max income limit for a 50%. We do full sliding scale down to 5. So now you're up to approaching 90,000. So I just want to bring up that she did that. There's also, Pat will be happy about this, allows firefighters to claim both the real property exemption now and the income tax credit. They can now, they're no longer in either or, they can claim both, and they also raise the income credit to $1,800 or $800, sorry. Any questions on that? Hey, you get both though. The other thing I think I've spoken 5-6 times to you about the alternative veterans. And I know that last Monday night, I believe Tyler mentioned to you that in the budget, Part EE, we amended the wartime veterans exemption. The misnomer, and I'll correct Tyler on this, it's not 100% disabled anymore. It's any disabled veteran that has been declared totally and permanently disabled by the U.S. Veterans Service Agency. And they took a bunch of the mishmash language out of it, made it very clear. I've already drafted language because that's what you guys asked to do last August. We waited on the passage of the bill in December, the amendments in January, and then 2 new bills. And then lo and behold, it ends up in the passing of the state budget. I'm working on a tax impact for that. I think there are some changes to what I presented to you last year as a tax impact. I don't even remember what that number was. So I took it upon myself to start last week running through what the impact would be. The county impact is minimal. I can tell you that because I've already done that piece of it. It's less than $1 to the average taxpayer, average single family home owner in Greene County. But it starts to get bigger and bigger as we get out to school districts, start adding in special districts, because you got to remember it's 100% exemption for everything. So it's wholly exempt. Most exemptions out there exclude special districts and special assessments. This does not. The question was raised today to Orps Legal also, whether a municipality could adopt their local law for this, because now we went from, you got to remember, last month I reported to you that it was going to be mandatory. Now we're back to local option. Whether we could exclude special districts. That came up during the volunteer firefighters a couple of years ago because of the way that language was drafted in that law, whether it applied or did not apply. we had a municipality here in Greene County who explicitly did not include, they said special districts were not included. The law as it's written in its generic stature is, it is allowed to special districts. So there's a lot of confusion. We've asked for some consultation from Albany Legal on that. I doubt that we'll get it. They are really adamant. I got beat up pretty bad today in the meeting. Saying that, you know, I go back to the good old days when they used to be advocates of ours. They're no longer advocates of ours. So they basically, their pat response is consult the municipal attorney. So Ed and I will have a few conversations along the way. We'll see what we can do. And so hopefully in July, I'll bring something back on that to you. If not, we have time. It's not effective until 2027 assessment rolls. So it's any assessment roll effective after October 1st of this year. So we have plenty of time to get both law on the books. Just want to point out, we got notice last week, rising postage costs again. We're looking at overall across the board, 4.8 to 5.1% increase in postage for tax bills. The good news is if you remember when I brought this to you in 2019, brought it back in-house in our mailing vendor, we're paying commercial rates for commercial pre-sorted mail. So we're getting the lowest rate possible to put our tax bills out to everybody. So I just want to bring that forward to you. Two other things, Chippy. I think I mentioned to you last month that they were challenging their assessment with the state board of equalization, well, the real property services, I guess, is their official title now. They lost their challenge, believe it or not. So, which shocked a lot of us. We'll see whether they file it. I don't know their ability to file a tax certiorari on the decision of the state board or not, but we'll see. And then the last point that I wanted to bring is what Mike, you asked on last month of me and the treasurer. But that isn't here in regards to a first-time home buyer's credit. I did some investigation. Keith and I met with Amy. So I wanted to give you some updates on that. The New York State Legislature does have two bills, one in the Assembly, one in the Senate. They were introduced back in 25, reintroduced again this February, both to the date to today, have not made it out of committee to do just that. To just give you a little bit of education on this, New York tax law, it's not real property tax law, and that's what I was a little lost last month because it's not my forte. But New York tax law under section 253 is what authorizes the 50% that goes to the municipalities, not us. That law also has a subsection in it that allows the 25% to go to Sunny May or the state of New York. Then there's 253 sub X, which is our piece that we renew every 2 years with the state. That would be the only piece that we could possibly approach the state about doing something with as far as first-time home buyers. I don't know if there'd be an appetite to do that with them, but to give you some statistics on it, and this was really hard to pull, so I'm using census data to pull this together. But the median home price in Greene County is right now is $425,000, which puts your average mortgage between $340,000 and $380,000. The mortgage recording tax on that amount would be between $4,250 and $4,750, but we only can look at that 0.5% of that. So we could, if we could modify that, there would potentially be a $1,700 to a $1,900 savings to a first-time home buyer. You got to remember that most of these home buyers are wrapping this into their mortgage. It's part of their closing. They don't even know. Sean and I talked a little bit about what we amortized it out over a 30-year mortgage. It was pennies a month. You know, No. That would have to be amended in the two statutes that are, or bills that have been introduced. They don't even really talk about 253X in those bills, or, you know, the subsection bills that each one of the counties are doing. They really only talk about 253. They don't even talk about sub 2, which allows them to collect their 0.25%. So it's really kind of mind-boggling as to what they're trying to do. And I think that's why it's never made its way out of committee. We collected over 1.5 million in mortgage tax in 2025. So if you were to, the average, again, this is a national average, 21% of home buyers are first-time home buyers. So you're looking at, we'd have to recover over $324,000 in revenue. So that's a substantial hunk to look at. I will tell you that I did look into real property tax law a little bit. The only first-time home buyer credit out or exemption out there is, again, by local option. It's only available to new construction. It's a 5-year exemption, reducing its 50% down to 10 in each year. And it also has an income component. So you have to be Sunny Mae qualified to even do it if we wanted to even think about putting some of that on the law. Again, the county impact is about $1,200. So I just wanted to give you the updates on that, unless you have questions on anything.
No, Ray, thank you though, for doing that.
Thanks, Ray.
All by themselves. Yeah. I'm going to roll right into the two resolutions we have. Number 1 is a resolution to hire Max K. Roush, president of Roush Executive Search Incorporated, for the purpose of conducting a comprehensive executive search.
O'Connell.
O'Connell, do I have a second? Hobart. Is there any discussion?
You're off. Right now, there's nothing specified as to what positions.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? I know
I'm a no.
I'm gonna vote no.
The three of us.
Two no.
Three.
Number
Daryl.
2, authorizing chargeback of assessment role-related services and materials. 2026 tentative roll. Yes? I will second that. All in favor?
Aye.
And opposed?
Opposed.
Thank you. Does anyone else have anything to come before government operations tonight? Need a motion to close.
Motion close.
Thank you.
Light was on.
We have Elaine Gold with us tonight to explain the contract between the deputies. Elaine, would you like to say a few words? Hell, we'll clear the room.
What's supposed to? Yeah, but you're just gonna say overall that you're in support of it, you think it's a good thing, I think we're good. Yeah.
Yep. We don't need exec session for that.
Yeah.
Turn the mic on.
Correct.
Mike?
Yeah, hit the speak button on the mic, the big button. And that,
Lower bottom black.
and that letter was part of our agenda items. There it is.
I'm afraid to touch it. I did write a letter to the chairman that says I fully recommend ratification. I know Sean usually would give you the presentation, so maybe he wants to do that. I could answer questions if Sean asked me to do that. If we could do that, you know, if you need me to do that after he gives you the presentation.
You're not on.
Good.
Technology. Uh-huh. This contract is with the sheriff's deputies of the county. It actually expired 12/31/25. We had really a minimal number of negotiation sessions. This group normally does not require exhaustive meetings. It would be a 3-year contract for fiscal 26, 27, and 28. And the on the wage compensation, it is consistent across the 3 years where there would be a $3,000 bump on the base of the pay and then a 3% COLA each of those 3 years. The computation of this increase brings us basically to parity to those agencies that we compare ourselves to, which are primarily the intra-county law enforcement agencies. And then we do also compare ourselves to similar counties. We do use Columbia and Schoharie. We do not use like an Ulster or an Albany. The majority of the other changes are some language changes there that are non-financial. And there was also, I guess the last thing would be a consolidation of some of the additional assignments that deputies can take, you know, for instance, everything from Marine Division to all the other items that we have. So there are some modest changes to that. Otherwise, it was a very amicable discussion point. And I think unless Elaine, if I missed a point there, I think that's it.
Very quick negotiation, very amicable, a lot of give and take in terms of what ideas people had, language changes that strengthen the discretion of the sheriff, which were necessary. Some making sure language complies with your administrative manual and countywide policies so that they're consistent throughout all of our contracts. We've been doing that progressively, starting a few years ago with CSEA and Teamsters. 2 CSEA agreements and going through each of the contracts to make sure we had similar language. But basically it was to bring our sheriff's folks in compliance and be competitive with our neighboring jurisdictions. It's very important to do that to keep the quality of your sheriff's department where it is now.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, Elaine.
Sure.
Okay, moving right along.
The parity, the other counties that we're comparing to, do they have 20-year retirements as well?
Everybody does. Every
So it's all-
every uniform division.
They have boats, road patrols, the whole gamut. Thanks.
What about,
I understand it, Sheriff. I'm just saying 9% with a $3,000 raise. What's 9%, 3,000 on the other end? Obviously, it's less money to the taxpayer. You're still gonna get your raise eventually.
So what were we looking at? I know there were some concerns about overtime being paid for training. Was there any headway made on that?
The 40 hours, is that what we're at? There was no discussion to reduce the training hours per contract.
Yeah, but weren't they getting paid time and a half on training if they were over 40 hours?
Well, they work 84 hours in a pay period because of the 12-hour shift computation. Depending upon when the training is held, the training could be in-service training during their shift. If it's on their day off, then it would be overtime.
I'd like to just add, when the deputies went to their 20-year plan, they didn't get a raise for 4 years. Pretty much, they paid for the 20-year plan.
We're going to the resolutions. Thank you, Blaine. First resolution, setting public hearing on local law introductory number 1 of 26, a local law of the county of Greene providing a real property tax exemption for real property owned by the surviving spouse of a police officer killed in the line of duty pursuant to section 471 of the real property tax law.
True.
Who introduced it? Michael? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. Okay, number 2, authorizing contract, Greene County Deputies Association. I'd like to make that.
Committee.
Committee. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried.
Opposed?
One opposition, okay. Number 3, authorizing out-of-state travel, Greene County Probation, Jessica Kozlowski and Lynn Helm.
Davis.
Davis,
Linger.
Blake, seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 4 is awarding bid for clean agent fire suppression system emergency service.
Davis.
Davis,
True.
it's true, seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 5 is awarding bid for the inspection, repair, and maintenance of 2 communication towers.
Davis.
Davis,
True.
it's true, seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's all carried. Number 6, accepting formal proposal for the emergency deck repair of a county route 39 bridge over the Trout Brook in number 3303240, Town of Carroll.
True.
Second?
True.
True, seconds it, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 7, accepting formal proposal for the repair of the county route 13 culvert, Town of Lexington. Mr. Lake?
Linger.
Second that, all in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 8 is authorizing the implementation and funding in the first instant, 100% of the federal aid and state Marchicelli program aid eligible costs of a transportation federal aid project and appropriating funds therefore.
Linger.
Mr. Linker.
Davis.
Mr. Davis, second, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Number 9, authorizing purchase of used 217 Great All XL 3100 4x2. Patty, I know you're not on the committee.
True.
It's true. I'll second
Linger.
it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 10, authorizing out-of-state travel, Wendy Johnson, Leslie
Davis.
Linger.
In favor?
Aye.
Oh. For 11, approving related service contract, fire contract.
Leg.
Davis.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Number 12, authorizing
Go
agreement.
ahead.
1 second,
Charlie.
Charlie.
Think we got,
I just want to check the voting on number 11. I,
I think we had one against.
I was
Leg-
opposed.
yeah, and I had Mr. Buish's opposite. You're good. Okay, thank you.
All right.
Thanks, Charlie.
Number 12, authorizing agreement, Greene County Mental Health with Wyndham Ashland Jewett Central School District. Mr. Lake,
Davis.
Mr. Davis, second. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. 13, authorizing agreement, Greene County Mental Health Center with Carroll Durham Central School District.
Lennon.
Mr. Leonard. Mr. True, seconds it. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That's also carried. Number 14, authorized agreement, Greene County Mental Health and Quest Star 3, I mean.
Davis.
True, Mr. Davis, second, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 15, authorizing agreement, Greene County Mental Health Center with Coxsackie and Central School District. Martinez,
Linger.
Linger, second, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 16 is authorizing vehicle purchase, Greene County Mental Health.
Davis.
Davis. Mr. True, second, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed,
Opposed?
that's carried. 17, authorized agreement, Greene County and Oxford House, Inc.
Linger.
Davis.
Mr. Davis and Mr. Linger, second. Or vice versa, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. Okay. Number 18, authorizing contract. TIPCO eligibility verification assistant EVA.
True.
It's true.
Davis.
Mr. Davis, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed. That's carried. Number 19, as amended capital project 161 Carroll Senior Center awarding bid, authorizing contract with Bethany Construction Company, Inc. for the Carroll Senior Center
No,
water
it's
and sewer utility improvements.
Lennon.
Mr. Leonard,
True.
Drew seconded. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Have Lanudo and Buich opposed.
I would say that's carried. All in favor?
Aye.
Resolution 20, resolution to hire Max K. Roush, President of Roush Executive Search, Inc., for the purpose of conducting a comprehensive executive search.
Buelich.
Mr. Buelich. Mr. Lenito, second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Carried.
Yeah, it should be carried. Myself, Daryl.
Greg. Carried. Okay, number 21, amending resolution number 5-26, designing official, designating official bank depositories. Mr.
Leg.
Lenito,
Leg second.
Blake seconds it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. 22, authorizing charge back of assessment roll related service materials 2026 tentative roll.
Davis.
Mr. Davis,
Buelich.
Mr. Bueller seconds it. All in favor of that?
Aye.
Opposed? That's carried. One opposition. Okay, we've done that with it anyway. 23, budget amendment, Greene County Sheriff Explosive Detection K-9 Team Grant.
Lennon.
True.
Lennon is true second. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's also carried. 24, 2026 budget amendment, Greene County Mental Health, New York State Office of Mental Health. Mr. Davis.
True.
It's true second, all in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
That's carried. 25, authorization pay claims highway, Martinez.
Lavera.
Fair seconds it, all in favor.
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. 26, authorization pay claims.
True.
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, that's carried. For all the resolutions. We have tonight with us, our treasurer. Hopefully some good news. Come see you.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Your treasurer's report for the month of May. Greene County payments of delinquent taxes and summary of the collection of delinquent taxes in May of 2026 totaled $536,071.19 compared to $489,939.34 in May of 25, or an increase of $46,131.85. Year-to-date payments for 2026 collections are $2,276,319.37 compared to $3,325,395.54 in 2025, or a decrease of $1,049,076.17. Greene County delinquent taxes. The summary of taxes as of May of 2026 totaled $5,535,027.15 compared to $5,856,391.01 in May of 25, or a decrease of $321,363.86. Sales tax to date for 2026 is $21,019,647.85 compared to $19,450,507.89 in 2025, for a year-to-date increase of $1,569,139.96. And at this point, we're at 8.07 is our increase. We have our next payment coming on June 30th. So that's not necessarily the end of month, but it's as of today. Last payment was the 13th. Greene County town collection status. As you may recall, I commented on this last month. The total due from town collections this year is $36,999,795.22. Payments received from the towns currently total $21,225,186.17. So since I spoke to you last month, we've had about 1.526 million come in from our towns. Your delinquent tax update for particular parcels. We've had two payments, and those two were fairly substantial. One at $51,578.31, and a second at $30,409. So that's the good news. The bad news is we've had our number 2 and number 3 delinquent tax property owners file for bankruptcy.
Mhm.
So we've had $100,070.97 enter into bankruptcy, and $105,057.52 enter into bankruptcy. And as you likely know, during this process, we have no ability to take any action. So we'll see where that leaves us come closer to the end of the year. See how those process. I don't really have much of anything else except for I'm going to have to ask for an apology I think it may have been Mr. Bulich, that asked me about, the chippy and the utility line taxes, that the county receives. And in this case, chippy has a pilot, so that's because of the size of it. It doesn't fall directly into this category. But from a tax point of view, I worked with Ray and, along with, Stacy from my office, and we have developed a list of all those taxes coming in. I use probably the easiest one that everybody can relate to pretty quickly, and that is, Central Hudson. Central Hudson has within the county 165 parcels, totaling $1,068,841.89 as their payment to the county. As Ray helped clarify for me, we have public utilities that run in rights of way under this category, public utilities that run in private lands, and then sealing railways. So those are the three in this category. The total of this category for the 2026 warrant is $2,627,920.36.
Keith, I have a question.
Sure.
Regarding that. With all of the talk about the state taking over Central Hudson or making it a nonprofit and the state-run Central Power Authority, what would be the impact on the county as far as any lost tax revenue if that were to happen, if Central Hudson was no longer a private entity?
I don't think it's been fully contemplated under the proposal that we're hearing about mostly on TV. Imagine it could be
Well,
politics.
State Senator Hinchy just held a town hall at the
Yep.
community theater. I believe it was earlier last week.
So again, I don't know if it's been fully contemplated, but as I understand it, the tax rate is not set by us, it's set by the state. And then correct that. The assessment value of those utility lines, public infrastructure are assessed by the state. We then apply our rate to it. So until we know exactly what their intention is within the proposal, and as you said, they are holding meetings on this. And I won't offer my opinion at this time. But I don't know what the tax implication will be. If they continue to operate it like Central Hudson or other public utilities are being operated now, they would still owe the tax. So unless there is going to be something changed, I believe, within the statute of how taxes are collected on public utilities, then I would assume we'd have no effect. If we hear differently, I'll be the first one to act and share it with you.
What does the throughway pay? What does the throughway pay us?
That's my point.
Yeah. Yeah, I would be concerned that they wouldn't pay. Fortunately, right now, I believe it to be more of a fantasy. We have two state authorities now, three authorities.
Would it be the pleasure?
Well, let's assume that it goes the way of any other state authority that's not paying taxes. What would be the loss of tax revenue that the county would receive? And then
Yeah,
the impact
millions.
to the county taxpayers that would then have to make up the difference.
If you would expand to all these and when they were broaden the law, then it would be 2.9 million. However, the number from Central Hudson, if we want to focus on them specifically, $1,068,841.89.
So approximately $1.6 million would then have to be trickled down to the county taxpayer.
$1,068,000.
Okay. So the county taxpayers then would have to carry the burden of coming up with that.
Or the state would have to reimburse.
Good luck with that.
Yeah, like they do with forests.
With those assumptions, the answer I would agree.
Okay, thank you.
And if it was a pleasure of this legislature, for us to send a letter, to the governor's office requesting, their position on this, we certainly can send it. I don't know what kind of response we'll get, but if that's like you would like to do.
I would be in favor of that. Can't speak for the rest of everybody
Sure.
else.
I'll get it out to you get it out to them this month.
I wasn't in attendance.
With what they say about.
Mike's not on it.
It does have an assembly sponsor.
And the Public Service Commission oversees the rates that Central Hudson is charging. And the Public Service Commission is appointed by the governor's office. Is that correct?
That's correct.
They're
Yeah.
just trying to beat to the public their punch that their stupid laws they put in place 5 years ago or 4 years ago. They're trying to cover their own rear ends and blame the public utility when it's their
It's their policies.
horrible policy decisions over the last many years.
Right,
So,
but if they
that
gin up
simple.
enough interest in this.
she's a part of it.
From an uninformed public, and they gather enough support, then this could become a reality. And the municipalities and the local taxpayers are the ones that are gonna suffer.
That's right.
So it's on us to bring attention and awareness to the actual truth as to what's going on with this.
Let's
That's
see
why I
if we
asked
can
these
get some
questions.
feedback. It's a good question.
Thank you.
Any other things?
Thanks for getting that info, Keith.
Thank you, Keith.
Have a good night.
Thanks, Keith.
Anything else come before finance?